So I said, Lin-Manuel, I can't just leave CBS Studios to go antiquing with you. I mean, some of us have to work, you know, but you know Lenny, he never takes no for an answer. Hey, oh, Dean Fiorito. Andy and I were just catching up on some of my work and, of course, my Emmys.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, he is riveted. You know, when you're amigos with some of the biggest names in the biz, some people just can't get enough.
You know, Andy doesn't speak.
Excuse me. Listen, Dean, I think Andy's kind of starstruck. I mean, we've been talking for like 15 minutes. He's been sweating the whole time. A-listers tend to make people nervous.
Actually, Andy doesn't speak. He's a thermal mannequin.
Yeah, he's really hot.
Well, actually, he uses modeling technology to replicate human physiology activities, such as blood flow, skin temperature, perspiration, and we use that to assess PPE for human performance.
PPE for human performance, right. That explains why he's been so quiet. Of course.
Actually, this is research that we do, very typical at FSU and across the ACC.
Got it, right. Of course. You the queen, Dean. Anyway, where was I? Oh, Lin-Manuel, right. So, as I was saying to Oprah, or was it Tom Hanks? They're so much alike.
Live from the campus of Florida State University, it's the 2023 ACC InVenture Prize. Join us as the Atlantic Coast Conference's leading innovators compete for $30,000 in prizes and patents. And now, please welcome your host from CBS Sunday Morning and NPR, Emmy winner and self-proclaimed super nerd, Faith Salie.
Thank you. Thank you, and welcome to the 7th annual ACC InVenture Prize, back once again on the campus of Florida State University. About a month ago, the ACC hosted its annual conference basketball tournament. The InVenture Prize competition is also full of talented students who could all be the #1 draft picks of tech companies. And surprisingly, 3 of our competitors can dunk. Our esteemed panel of judges received video pitches from each team, then grilled them in 10-minute virtual Q&A sessions earlier this week. Tonight, each team will get 1 more minute with our judges to answer one last question, or as many as they can answer in that last minute. At the end of our show, our judges will award first and second place prizes of $15,000 and $10,000 respectively. Of course, all of tonight's teams are also trying to impress you, the audience, because you get to vote for the People's Choice Award and send the winner home with a $5,000 prize. To vote for your favorite team, just text their keyword to 415-965-7445. Only 1 vote per texting device will count, and you must spell those keywords correctly, so watch out for the autocorrect. Voting opened late last week and will remain open until the judges are ready to announce their decisions approximately 50 minutes from now. Well, I hope you're ready for the future, because it's time to introduce our first semifinalist, presented in no particular order. The team from last year's winning school, Georgia Tech, has their finger on the pulse of the oximeter industry and are here to tell us how they'll revolutionize it. Let's learn about Team Pulse Oximates.
If you've ever stepped foot in a doctor's office or a hospital, or even just seen a medical drama, you've seen the little thing they put on every single person's finger. That is a pulse oximeter. That little finger clip has the important job of measuring your oxygen saturation percentage, which means what % of your blood is carrying oxygen versus not. However, for a person of color, the melanin in your skin can interfere with a pulse oximeter's reading, possibly preventing you from getting a life-saving treatment. To a pulse oximeter, melanin reads like healthy, fully saturated blood, inflating your oxygen saturation reading and falsely giving you a clean bill of health no matter how sick you may be. More than 1 in 7 patients of color experience these false, dangerously inflated readings. That's 3 times as much as patients with light skin. And any patient with an incorrect reading has a risk of in-hospital death 70% higher than anyone with accurate readings. During COVID, people of color were at high risk of being incorrectly deemed too healthy for treatment in overwhelmed hospitals, and were sent home to let their condition deteriorate, leading to high risk of complications, poor long-term outcomes, and eventually death. Pulse Oximates aims to address this health disparity with our sublingual pulse oximeter. Our redesigned pulse oximeter reads oxygen saturation from under your tongue. The sublingual region is highly vascular, always core temperature, and free of melanin. Reading here corrects not only for skin tone, but for other things that cause incorrect readings like cold hands, nail polish, and poor circulation, making it more accurate for everyone, no matter their skin tone. We've been testing our device in cadavers in coordination with the anatomy department at Georgia Tech. Our data is extremely promising, and now we are moving forward with the calibration of our device for reliable and accurate calculations. If we were to win the InVenture Prize, we'd be able to use the funding to file our full utility patent and begin rigorous clinical testing and validation in diverse populations. The success of these trials would then allow us to submit for clearance with the FDA, go to market, and get our device out to hospitals and clinics everywhere to improve patient care outcomes. We believe our sublingual pulse oximeter can correct an engineering failure that has disparaged populations of color since the device's conception. Ensuring accurate measurements of oxygen saturation in all people, regardless of skin tone, will enable clinicians to make proper care decisions, select effective treatments, and save numerous lives.
While you were watching, our judges were seated, and I'll be giving each a formal intro soon, but first, they'll check the pulse of the Georgia Tech team. Shri, do you want to break the ice?
Yes, please. Great job, team. Can you describe your plans for product trials and validating customer demand?
Yeah, absolutely. So as soon as we can file our provisional patent, or our full utility patent, we're going to move forward with our clinical trials. So the FDA right now only demands that pulse oximeters be tested with around 10 patients, with only 15% of those or 2 people with darker skin. So we plan to involve far more people in our trials, and we're going to involve much more diverse populations.
We get about 20 seconds.
Can you talk about the customer validation plan you have? How, for example, are you going to make sure that this doesn't interfere with the patient experience?
Absolutely. So we've actually been testing it with ourselves. It's no more uncomfortable for a sublingual thermometer. It's silicone, so it's rather soft and pliable.
And now your time has flatlined. I'm sorry, I have to cut you off. Thank you to the Georgia Tech team for kicking things off. And next up is Boston College, comprised of 3 ladies who have an eagle eye for innovation.
Hi, ACC InVenture. Thank you so much for having us, and we're honored to represent Boston College. An underrepresented category of health is indoor air quality, specifically mold. 9 out of 10 people breathe unhealthy air, which is the biggest risk for premature death. This is why our company, Vitality, is working on creating Spore, an at-home mold spore monitor which automatically and continuously detects mold spores in the environment, similar to a carbon monoxide detector. The main issue with mold is that it often goes hidden and undetected until homeowners begin to see mold growing or experience symptoms of mold exposure. Mold can cause or worsen pre-existing health effects, as well as trigger asthma episodes, allergic reactions, and fever-like symptoms. The average mold remediation costs upwards of $5,000, and these costs continue to pile with remediation, relocation, and healthcare bills. Our product, Spore, is a mold monitor that automatically and continuously detects mold spores in the environment, using a color-changing pH gel. The concept of Spore is very similar to a carbon monoxide detector, making it highly feasible to develop and manufacture. We designed Spore to be a sustainable, lifelong product aimed at improving our physical well-being, that in turn improves our health as well. One component of Spore is the pod. The pod contains mold-sensing gel pockets that will open monthly to allow for a fresh mold test. The LED ring changes colors to alert homeowners of the mold spore count. The ring changes between green, a healthy environment, to yellow and red, where a siren will sound alerting homeowners to call a remediation team. Currently, we aim to price Spore around $150, similar to carbon monoxide monitors that also use biomimetic sensoring. By focusing on the detection of mold, we hope to address the situation before it escalates, saving users time and money, and ultimately preserving their well-being. The typical response we get when we tell people about our idea is, wait, this doesn't already exist? No, there's currently nothing on the market which automatically tests for mold. Rather, they use lab tests, and we aim to cut out the middleman. Our target market is primarily homeowners, although we do hope to expand to have Spore in every home and public spaces such as hospitals, clinics, schools, and so much more. Help keep your home mold-free with Spore. Thank you so much.
Okay, I detect that the judges have more they want to know about Spore. Jim.
Great, thank you, Faith, and great job for the team. Thanks for the great video. We wanted to see if you could tell us a little bit about the production plans for your key technology elements in your Spore product.
Yeah, that's a great question. So first off, we're starting off with our scientific testing. We're currently partnering with Kansas State University on that front. And after we finish our 3 phases of testing, we're going to move into MVP and prototyping, and then from there, manufacturing.
Who do you think will be your key supplier types?
Honestly, so for prototyping, somewhere that we've gotten a lot of help with is actually Boston College. Their recently new Schiller Institute, which deals with engineering, and they said that they would be able to help us out with creating our product and working on prototyping. Honestly, because we've been so focused on this lab testing, we haven't thought enough about the materials that we would need for the product.
And that's your time. Thank you, Boston College. I am always fascinated to learn how our teams find inspiration for their innovations, like the team from Notre Dame, whose drive to make a difference in the world started first by making a difference in his own home.
Hi, my name is John Sexton, and I'm the founder and CEO of Lifedrive, a startup providing alternative power wheelchair control solutions to individuals who can no longer drive their chairs with a joystick. When I was in 8th grade, my father was diagnosed with ALS, a progressive neuromuscular disease that slowly takes away your ability to move, talk, and breathe. Not only was the physical part of the disease challenging, but with it brought a loss of independence and decreased quality of life. When my dad lost the ability to control his chair with a joystick, we looked to other solutions to see what would meet his needs. But everything we found was either impermanent, invasive, or incomplete. And that's when we invented Lifedrive, a patent-pending system of alternative drive controls that allow individuals to fully control their power wheelchairs regardless of their static or changing needs. Our FDA Class 1 510(k) exempt wheelchair component provides eye, voice, and mobile joystick control solutions that allow individuals to drive their chair, adjust their seating position, and control every other aspect of their wheelchair mobility experience. Lifedrive's multiple control options make it stand out from the competition. When someone gets alternative drive controls, their provider has to make separate recommendations for neck, lung, and eye-controlled solutions. In comparison, Lifedrive provides multiple adaptable solutions with just one recommendation. And there are a lot of individuals who can benefit from that adaptability. Our total available market consists of 80,000 complex rehab power wheelchairs sold annually, and we estimate that a quarter of those need alternative drive controls. Using reimbursement metrics from our competitors, we estimate that we'll get $2,400 in revenue per unit, and given our background, we're going to target the ALS population as our beachhead market. Our team consists of a student engineering team, as well as a group of advisors that have experiential and entrepreneurial knowledge in the medical device field. This balance of technical expertise and medical device experience drives us forward. Lifedrive provides individuals who have lost their independence the ability to regain full control of their power wheelchairs. This solution has worked wonders for my dad and my family, and it will change others' lives too. So drive your life with Lifedrive.
Judges winning the InVenture Prize would give more life to Lifedrive. What else do you want to know about Notre Dame's innovation, Laurence?
What a great presentation. I'd love to learn more about your full funding needs and your timeline to bring your product to service.
Yeah, so our product is in development still, but we're going through our regulatory and insurance reimbursement pathways right now. So we're looking at about 2 years to really account for breaking into the market in non-coded ways through insurance, so working with nonprofits and other medical centers, even people that are paying out of pocket, as well as accounting for a year to develop our full QMS and regulatory strategy.
Great solution. What are your top 3 cost components?
So the top 3 cost components really are all associated with travel to do installs, the actual board, the actual hardware that we have itself, and then just salaries for people that would be working on this. So it's not super expensive, minus the board and traveling to do the install. It's a relatively small board. So it's not anything that's too...
And that's your time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, John. As you've probably guessed from their rather astute questions so far, we did not just pick 3 random people off the street to be our judges. So let's pause quickly to introduce each of them. Our first judge currently serves as the Vice President of Global Business Development for Rhizome Network. We're pleased to welcome back Shri Devakaruni. Hi, Shri. A first-time judge on our program, she's a managing director at AE Industrial with a primary focus on new business development and portfolio management. We are excited to be joined by Laurence Vigeon-Langlois. Hello, Laurence.
Great to be here.
And our third judge, returning for his second InVenture Prize, focuses his attention on accelerating climate solutions to market and recently served in the U.S. Department of Energy as the senior advisor in the Office of Technology Transitions, Jim Fritz. Hey, Jim. Our judges met this year's teams in extended Q&A sessions earlier this week. Tonight, they get to ask a follow-up. And they'll continue doing that right after we meet one of last year's second-place schools. That's right, we had the first ever tie for second last year. It's the team from Duke.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matthew Skola, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Savor, the easy-to-use software to document and manage personal property for estate planning. I'm building this with my talented developers, Joseph Liu and Johnny Pesavento. The strong bond between siblings comes from core shared experiences, memories, and backgrounds. A strong connector among siblings is a relationship with their parents. Joyful memories comes from the happy times in these relationships, including weddings, birthday parties, anniversaries, and vacations. Oftentimes, these memories are forever memorialized in physical goods, including a vase from a trip to Europe, dad's old basketball jersey in the basement, or a book from a cross-country road trip. Fast forward some years and siblings losing their parents can elicit strong emotions and changes their dynamic. Commonly, emotion overwhelms judgment in dealings with affairs of the estates. Siblings fight over the cherished property in their parents' house with a strong emotional connection. What should be a positive legacy turns into fights over items. This process is inefficient for attorneys, detrimental to families, and unpleasant for everyone involved. That is why we created Savor. Savor is an easy-to-use application to help families document and manage their personal property for estate planning. We allow a user to take photos of their cherished property, tell the item's story, and then collaborate with family to determine a recipient for the item. At the end of the process, we give you a PDF export that can turn someone's last wishes into a binding personal property memorandum. Our secret sauce is that people love to share stories, and our app allows families to interact and collaborate together while enjoying the process and recalling cherished memories. We believe that we can impact 27 million American households with this idea. There are currently 35 million American households over age 65, and 76% of Americans 65 plus have a will. How will we reach all these people? We'll reach them through a B2B2C partnership with estate planning attorneys, where the firm will include Savor in their client introduction packet. We'll provide the firm value and save time in a differentiated offering to clients, while selling lifetime access for $100 per user. Why Savor? Because in a family's most challenging times, we'll help keep the family together.
Okay, I finally know what to get my father for Father's Day. This is great. All right, Savor, the judges will now ask you a question, and then you can state your answer. Shri?
Love your go-to-market strategy. What are your plans to rapidly scale your offering and protect your intellectual property from fast followers?
I think that the best way we can scale is that we'll have a viral coefficient of growth. So when we have the product, one grandparent or a couple will get this product, and then they'll share it throughout their whole family. Now in this, you have in-laws, and you have a complex web of family members. And from that, they will tell their friends, and then we'll be able to grow really quickly, and as we get into different law firms, as people recommend that to their attorneys.
So maybe on that note, can you talk to us about how you've validated your net retention so far?
Our net retention?
Yep.
So far, we haven't really measured net retention. That's not something that we focus on in customer discovery quite yet.
20 seconds.
Yeah, so a question around branding. Obviously, you're going out to law offices. Do you expect this is going to go out as a Savor branded product, or will be branded by the individual law offices?
So we've talked with law offices about that, and they're really interested in white labeling this product, which we can easily do through different code and logos.
And that's your time. Thank you, Duke. We now go from a blue devil to a demon deacon. Let's meet the team from Wake Forest.
Hello everyone and InVenture judges. Before we begin, we would like to thank you for this opportunity. I'm Gwenny Gorfin, representing the Wake Forest team, here to introduce to you Validus, a novel medication management system designed to alleviate the daily struggles epilepsy patients face. Epilepsy is a condition in which seizures occur due to changes in electrical brain activity. It's the most common neurological disorder, yet has no cure, and is regulated through anti-epileptic medication. Imagine a 22-year-old college student who's been living with epilepsy since they were 12 and feels as though this condition defines them. They feel self-conscious taking medication and are in constant fear of a reoccurring seizure. Desperate to find an effective way to manage their medication, this individual is one of our team members and a good friend of mine. We are here on behalf of our team member, my family, friends, and the 3 million Americans and 50 million worldwide who struggle with epilepsy. 50% of epilepsy patients fail to follow their prescribed drug routines. 85% of patients are embarrassed to take medication in public. If they miss a dose, it can trigger a seizure, lead to hospitalizations or life-threatening consequences. Currently, epilepsy patients use cumbersome pill organizers and expensive benchtop models, all of which are ineffective in the long term. Validus is here to change that. The Validus is a comprehensive and hassle-free solution that combines an automated pill dispenser, named the Cube. This device automatically dispenses pills into the Smart Puck device, which stores up to 3 days' worth of pills and alerts users via vibration. The puck magnetically attaches to the water bottle, the hydrocin, in a discreet manner. The puck connects via Bluetooth to a mobile app that will track pill intake while notifying healthcare providers if dosages are missed. Validus will be introduced into the market in 2025, with our goal to be scaling it to a larger demographic by 2028. With a market penetration projection of 6% within 5 years of release, Validus has immense value to revolutionize the healthcare industry. Over the last year, the team has completed several prototypes and testing. The team plans to select an advisory board, file provisional patents, and conduct clinical trials. With our team of 4 Wake Forest University engineers, we've come up with an innovative solution where epilepsy patients can finally take control of their medication management and of their life. Empower your health with Validus.
Okay, judges, I'm kind of the Validus for questions, reminding you it's time to get started. So Jim, take it away.
Great, thanks. And a nice job to the team as well. I'd like to ask about the core components of your product. Could you talk about what are the core elements and what are the key challenges and how do you expect they will be produced ultimately?
Of course, that's an incredible question and thank you for that. Our main elements right now are that there's a lack of pill adherence amongst epilepsy patients and worldwide. And there's also a very high embarrassment beyond not just epilepsy patients, but people across the board. So that's something that we're going to be able to combat with our novel product because we're having a discreet and portable device so people can use that not just on a day-to-day basis, but something that they can use every day for the rest of their lives.
Have you tested your product with customers so far, patients, and what is the feedback?
Great question, actually. We have had some stakeholder interviews, and we've done the comparison with current benchmarks as for conventional pill organizers. We've done things like drop tests, anything that might withstand the day-to-day.
That's your time. Oh my gosh, it's such a cliffhanger. I'm sorry. Wake Forest has provided us with some valid answers. Now let's get a view of Team Odyssey from the University of Miami.
Didn't see you there, but I heard you, thanks to the Odyssey. My name is Matt Clifton, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Odyssey, a dynamic soundscape device for blind navigation. Blindness shouldn't stop you from enjoying your life, yet blind people suffer extreme loss of independence and freedom due to outdated assistive devices, such as the white cane, guide dogs, and caretakers. Until now. Odyssey uses LiDAR to sense the user's surroundings and translate them into audio cues that form a mental map in their head, allowing them to navigate their environment confidently on their own. It provides dynamic 3D information, is safer, hands-free, discreet, and easy to learn, allowing for unmatched independence. There are currently 48 million blind people in the world, meaning their vision is worse than 20/200, and 295 million severely visually impaired, having vision worse than 20/70. The total addressable market is $2 trillion, with a serviceable addressable market of $700 billion, 10% of which yields a conservative estimate of $70 billion. We've already filed a provisional patent and concluded our initial testing, as well as gaining traction by winning multiple competitions. Our product will initially be sold through a private website, and we will access our target market by partnering with institutions like Bascom Palmer, part of Miami's UHealth and the #1 eye institute in the world. After the initial launch, we will begin the process of FDA approval, which will be very quick for us, as we will be filing either as a Class 1 medical device or hearing aid equivalent, allowing for Medicaid reimbursement so it's available to people of all socioeconomic standings. And again, we can launch our product before this. This is just to make it more accessible. We'll eventually integrate post-op lending, like how you borrow crutches after foot surgery, you can borrow the Odyssey after eye surgery. We're a team of senior biomedical engineers with diverse connections and a passion for improving lives. With our network of advisors and mentors, we're in a very unique position to really make a difference in people's lives. Thank you, and we can't wait to embark on this Odyssey with you.
Judges, you had time to hear from Odyssey earlier this week, but you have one more chance to learn about their innovation. Laurence?
Autonomy technology for the visually impaired. I'd love to hear how you plan to work with the regulators for them to approve and determine your technology is ready for market.
Yes, thank you. That's a great question. So the really awesome thing about our device is that we don't actually need FDA approval in order to begin selling it. It can actually be released on its own without that, but we plan to pursue FDA approval as either a Class 1 medical device or a hearing aid equivalent, which will be a pretty expedited process compared to other classes of devices.
Just diving deeper, how are they going to judge that your product is ready? How will the regulators assess it, you think?
Right, so we've been doing a lot with working with our target population and really making sure that, first of all, it's a human-centered design, and two, that it's like a working something that's useful to the people. So through our surveys and product validation, we've really been working with people.
That's your time. Thank you so much. Just like Odyssey, all of tonight's teams have been on a long journey to become semifinalists. What was that journey like? You're in luck because we documented their collective odysseys in a piece we call The Road to the ACC InVenture Prize.
The road to the 2023 ACC InVenture Prize was a bit smoother than previous years, paving a path to Florida State University and following a format that was born largely out of the lessons learned during the pandemic. Teams were chosen by their universities 6 weeks prior to the broadcast, and students got right to work on their pitch videos.
9 out of 10 people breathe unhealthy air, which is the biggest risk for premature death.
This is a perfect example of the continuity gap patients experience in hospital discharges.
We provide educational programs with the mission to close the gender gap in early STEM education,
falsely giving you a clean bill of health no matter how sick you may be.
These videos were once again posted to the ACC InVenture Prize website for People's Choice voting. While the students went through perhaps the most challenging part of the competition, extended Q&A sessions with the judges.
Speak a little bit about the cost versus price of this device.
I'm curious what your plans are to actually get kind of user feedback.
Who has tried your solution so far?
Have you actually considered speaking to the insurance companies themselves?
Are you planning to go this alone or partner with third parties?
A question on your advisory board.
But the judges have saved their toughest questions for last, to be answered on tonight's live broadcast, where they will determine once and for all who will win this year's ACC InVenture Prize.
Seeing the amazing accomplishments of these young entrepreneurs almost takes your breath away. Luckily, the team from Florida State is here to give us an extra breath.
Each year, 200,000 Americans have their lives drastically changed by acute respiratory distress syndrome. This deadly condition is more commonly known as ARDS. ARDS is caused by severe lung injuries such as sepsis or COVID-19. It is a deadly condition in which the air sacs of the lungs are damaged and filled with debris. This prevents oxygen from reaching the blood and the patient painfully suffocates. Only 1 in 4 patients survive. Our goal is to give them an extra breath. Hello, I'm Michael, co-founder and chief design engineer for Extra Breath. Extra Breath is a revolutionary device created to save lives. It replaces antiquated practices by allowing patients to breathe normally during treatment. Previous ARDS treatment required medical sedation, which has been shown to decrease patient survival rates. Until now, there has not been an effective treatment for ARDS. Extra Breath aims to heal patients with ARDS by using our proprietary oscillating mechanism. By connecting seamlessly to a standard hospital ventilator, this allows the patient to breathe during treatment while our device pulses to keep the lungs inflated. We've teamed up with Mayo Clinic, the #1 hospital in the nation, with the resources and experts necessary to support this project from start to end.
I'm Dr. Michelle Freeman, pulmonary and critical care physician at Mayo Clinic. ARDS causes enormous damage to our patients and their families, and our current solutions are insufficient. Extra Breath has the potential to transform this field, providing hope to patients and their families. This life-saving device is the future of intensive care, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
With the right support, we expect to reach patients at scale by 2028. We currently have a functional prototype and plan to start preclinical trials by next year, followed by clinical trials and a design freeze the year after. Following FDA approval, we will position to go to market, helping those 200,000 individuals who get ARDS each year. Our team of 5 mechanical engineers has been handpicked for our specialties in the field. With your support, Extra Breath will save lives. It will allow critical care specialists to confidently treat the 200,000 ARDS patients they get every year. Most importantly, Extra Breath will give families the confidence to know they'll be reunited with their loved ones in no time.
All right, judges, you now get 1 extra minute with Extra Breath. Shri.
Great innovation team. What percentage of your overall cost is the disposable component, and what's the associated revenue streams from that?
Yes, so we actually have some specific numbers for that. The disposable component that actually goes in the ventilator is $217, whereas the power box that will be there permanently is $254. So it's a total manufacturing cost of $470. This, with factoring in our manufacturing cost of $200, puts a total unit cost of around $1,000, factoring in overhead, and a 30% profit margin as well. And so we estimate that it would be about $300 to $400 to purchase the disposable component again.
Thank you.
Congrats on your partnership with Mayo Clinic. I'd love to learn more about your go-to-market strategy. I know it's a few years out, but are you going to be a supplier?
Oh my gosh, Laurent, we all would love to know more, but that is your time. Thank you. We go now from an innovation that defends the lungs to one that empowers women with self-defense. Here's the team from the University of Pittsburgh with Underdog.
Hi, my name is Kate Gallo, and I'm the founder and CEO of Underdog. 81% of women in college will experience sexual harassment, assault, or rape in their lifetime. And 1 in 4 women will be in an emotionally abusive relationship at some point. All the solutions that exist to combat these events and problems currently are reactive, meaning that this all still happens and women still go through all this trauma. From years of hearing shattering stories from friends of life-altering and dangerous situations and going through situations of my own, enough is enough. Underdog is the solution to keep women in college safe every day and everywhere. Underdog is a new way to learn holistic, life-saving, and preventive self-defense in a fun way. We're a subscription package service for universities and Greek life organizations teaching physical and psychological self-defense, so women can learn how to keep themselves safe from physical danger and emotional abuse in supportive, in-person group settings. Whether it's learning proper body language and walking to prevent harassment, learning how to use your own body weight to stop an assault, or understanding what healthy relationship boundaries look like for you, Underdog has all of it and teaches it in bite-sized, memorable ways. And by teaching holistic self-defense, women are 80% less likely to experience assault or abuse in any form using only their body and their mind. We've held pilot events on Pitt's campus and interviewed students to make sure we're tailoring our resources to exactly what women want and need. Underdog also has an online platform and community with always accessible courses and in-the-moment tools, so you have another protection tactic in your pocket at all times. We've heard from all across the country that women need Underdog on their campus. And our educational content on Instagram and TikTok has seen an almost 400% increase in engagement recently. The danger that women face daily is crippling and life-changing, but we're creating an opportunity to invest in, protect, and empower all women in college. And we won't stop until everyone has the resources, skills, and events necessary to keep themselves safe day by day, emotionally, physically, and psychologically. With preventive self-defense, we can all be underdogs.
Judges, they call themselves Underdog, but it's easy to see why they made it this far in the competition. What else would you like to know about them, Jim?
Yeah, great solution to a really challenging and important problem. Would really like to understand what you see as the biggest challenges to growing significant scale, and how do you plan to overcome those?
Yeah, so we've put a lot of considerable thought into scaling. We actually just had 2 different Title IX offices and universities reach out about having our paid classes on their campuses in August, so that's something we're giving a lot of thought to recently. And we're working on partnering with every self-defense gym in Pittsburgh and counseling center in every city we go to and near every campus to make sure that we can scale and work with resources that already exist, and we're not encroaching on anything that already exists. We're being the bridge between them.
20 seconds.
What other risks and challenges do you see for your business?
I see a lot of social risks. Some of the people we've talked to don't think this is a problem that exists, and so we've done a lot of marketing. Trinity's done a great job of that, and our whole marketing team, to make sure that everyone understands that everyone can benefit from this solution, regardless of what gender, and that this is a problem that is really prevalent in society today.
And that's your time. Thank you. We have got 4 more teams left to go, so if you're hankering for a snack, this next team might have something for you.
Hi, I'm Joseph, and I'm excited to tell you about Mochi Dog, the Krispy Kreme of mochi donuts. Mochi donuts are a Japanese hybrid of American donuts with a mix of tapioca starch and glutinous rice flour, along with other ingredients that makes a soft, chewy texture. This inherently also makes the donuts gluten-free, and after these donuts are fried, they result in a crispy texture and a fluffy interior. They are typically coated in an assortment of flavored icings such as matcha, strawberry, chocolate, etc., and can also be decorated in many other ways. Our menu also includes other Asian desserts and drinks. Mochi Dog Donuts franchise is more than a donut shop. It is a destination for people of all ethnicities to come together to socialize, create a community, and spread cultural awareness. Our mission is to open cafe-style locations across the country in cities that have been neglected and are suffering from a lack of Asian culture and diversity of foods. Mochi Dog aspires to be a cultural beacon that people can form a community around. The donut industry in the United States has an estimated revenue in 2022 of $8.7 billion, and between 2017 and 2022 had an annual growth of 6.6%. More specifically, search volumes of Mochi Donuts grew 38% year over year. Mochi Dog has made a total of $4,000 in sales. Mochi Dog had its first pop-up stand at a school event on October 17, 2022, and sold out all the products within 2 hours. On March 15, 2023, we opened our first storefront and business, and it is doing well. On January 1, 2024, we have plans on opening a second storefront, either in another part of Louisville or a neighboring city nearby. In July 2024, we will be accepting franchising applications. So how about it? Help us spread our sweet treats and get sweeter connections around the country. Thank you.
Okay, when it comes to donuts, my question is how many can I have? But I'm guessing you have other questions. Laurence?
Well, I'll start with, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the pros and cons of basically licensing versus franchising.
So if you license, you allow people to use your name for their products, and franchising, it's more of where you'll retain some equity in the business, so you make sure that they operate based on your guidelines and maintain your product image.
What are some of the health ramifications of your snack?
It's half the calories of a normal donut, so that's already a big bonus.
Yep. So along those lines, we've talked about ethnic food source. We've talked about health. What do you see as kind of the main brand benefits of the Mochi Dog story?
So really, we're trying to leverage Mochi Dog to create a business that could generate capital, and we want to leverage that to bring people in communities together, because it's very difficult to bring ethnic groups together, and we want to provide the common ground that all ethnic groups could use, which is their love for desserts.
And that is your time. Thank you so much. Everyone involved in this program has been awestruck by all the young, brilliant innovators in this competition and are excited for their futures, just as we have been in prior years. To see how a few of the teams in those competitions have blossomed since their time on our stage, as well as the impact the InVenture Prize had on them, we put together something we call Where Are They Now?
The ACC InVenture Prize can have lasting impacts on participants. Just ask Derek Prusiner, one of the members of last year's winning team from Georgia Tech, CarSeal.
The experience we gained through the ACC InVenture Prize was invaluable. Instead of simple classroom exercises, we gained real-world experience on how to develop a product, from a problem statement to a high-fidelity prototype with an actionable business model. And this has allowed us to develop unique skill sets that will accelerate our contributions to biotechnology early in our careers.
In 2018, participant Kayla Simon from Syracuse University developed a host of skills that continue to serve her well.
For me, the ACC InVenture Prize changed my perspective on engineering and helped me find my passion. Not only did I gain leadership and communication skills, it gave me confidence to take my career to a whole new level.
And Allie Reichert, one of the founders of last year's second place team, Kath Asher of Clemson University, shares a similar sentiment.
The ACC InVenture Prize opened doors for us. It gave us momentum and validation. It inspired us to take our concept from a senior design passion project to a medical device that I'm confident will someday save lives.
After that short interval, we now return to our team presentations with Intervia from Syracuse University.
Hello ACC, I'm Aidan Mickelberg from Syracuse University and the founder of Intervia. In 2019, I was admitted to the ER for complications from a childhood illness and was discharged with prescriptions that I used for 2 years, until a doctor noticed one of the medications was only for 30 days as it contained aluminum. I spent 3 months going through kidney screenings to ensure that I didn't need a transplant. This is a perfect example of the continuity gap patients experience in hospital discharges, and nowhere is this gap clearer than prescription-driven readmissions to hospitals, which affect over 3 million people each year. These cost hospitals over $57 billion in uninsured expenses and claim the lives of over 450,000 people, despite over 40% of these readmissions being preventable. This is the problem that Intervia will solve. How can we improve these outcomes? By leveraging innovations in AI and care delivery, we provide 3 services for discharged patients: facilitating free same-day prescription delivery, using generative AI to answer patient questions about prescription use and side effects with 24/7 text messaging, and monitoring active prescriptions across multiple EHR platforms to flag potentially dangerous drug interactions before they happen. Through customer discovery, we know providers want this. It helps healthcare professionals focus on high-urgency tasks by automating low-urgency interactions, reducing burnout, and improving the patient experience. Our advisors, including pharmacists, AI, and HIPAA experts, are ensuring what we build is safe, secure, and aligned with the needs of hospitals and patients. Our initial focus is teaching and state-funded hospitals which embrace innovation and efficiency. These institutions represent a service addressable market of $2.8 billion annually and treat over 18 million patients. Our platform has a scalable natural language model that works. We have filed for IRB approval to conduct a pilot program at a large teaching hospital and are scheduling demos with others. Intervia can transform the patient experience by using AI to close continuity gaps and provide better health outcomes, making prescription-driven admissions a thing of the past.
All right, judges, it's time for your interrogation of Intervia. Shri.
Great presentation, Aidan. For the 3 million hospital readmissions that you quote, what are the top 3 root causes, and how does your solution address those?
The top 3 root causes of those 3 million prescription-driven readmissions can largely be traced back to, in no particular order, affordability of the medication for patients, such as the copay, properly using the prescriptions, and being able to access your pharmacy locally.
And then how does your product solve those root causes?
So we solve the root causes going back in that same order again, making sure that their copays are covered based on their prescription fee, making sure that we have access to their information going through EHR platforms and then connecting with pharmaceutical databases so they have a really strong, robust sense of what they're using through text messaging, and then making sure that it's delivered straight to their door without having to source their local pharmacy.
And that is your time. Thank you, Syracuse. Science, technology, robotics, engineering, arts, math. For girls? Yes, please. Here is Pink Stream from UNC.
I'm Rita Bayraktar, a senior studying computer science at UNC and the founder of Pinkstream, a nonprofit organization to educate and empower young women in STREAM, which stands for Science, Technology, Robotics, Engineering, Arts, and Math. As Pinkstream, we provide educational programs with the mission to close the gender gap in early STEM education, particularly for disadvantaged and marginalized women. Women make up only 28% of the workforce in STEM. The gender gaps are especially high in some of the fastest growing and highest paying jobs of the future, like computer science and engineering. One of the main reasons for the gender gap in STEM is the lack of early exposure. While boys play with cars, rockets, robots that introduce and accelerate them in STEM, girls are encouraged to play with kitchen and makeup toys in their childhood. These experiences enforce gender stereotypes and alienate girls from STEM fields. Pinkstream creates educational programs on topics that are shaping the future: robotics, coding, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and more. Our classes are specifically designed for young women and taught by women, changing the perspective with women-oriented content. We deliver our programs in partnerships with community centers, schools, and organizations. With the collective impact model, Pinkstream focuses on education with its uniquely designed curriculums, experienced teachers and volunteers, and high-quality educational materials. Our partners provide infrastructure for the classes and invite young women from their communities to explore STREAM. This brings our efforts to the local communities and allows us to keep the costs down. Since 2018, Pinkstream programs impacted 1,200 students through our 15 partners. We were showcased in more than 22 articles and received 13 awards. In 2022, we expanded our work to an international level by hosting stream programs for refugee girls in Turkey. So what's next? The high impact we reached in Turkey motivated us to continue our work there with refugee girls. However, the devastating earthquakes in the country shifted our attention to a new project. This summer, we will travel to the earthquake relief camps to teach PinkStream programs. If PinkStream is awarded the ACC InVenture Prize, your support will go towards empowering young women to build the future with STEAM.
Rita may one day have some Tar Heel women wearing Carolina pink, right? Judges, what do you have for her, Jim?
Great, thanks. And I love that you're addressing this challenge. It's a really important problem, and great job. Would like to understand how did you determine your impact metrics, and what's your plan to meet those?
Yes, so our impact is child by child different, obviously, but it's both by skill and the impact that I see on the students as a teacher myself. So qualitatively, I don't think it always, like the numbers don't always mean something. So it's like more of the quality of the education they received. Our numbers have been great. Like we have impacted 1,200 students, as mentioned before, but the impact I saw on students, for example, a child didn't know English, came to our program of 3D printing and left being both more confident about herself, reflecting, expressing herself with 3D design, and thinking that she would become a 3D printing and designer in the future. So that's only one story.
And a happy ending. Thank you, PinkStream. Last year's second place school, Clemson University, is our final emerging technology with an improvement in emergency transport. Let's check out the Better Board.
My name is Molly Turk, I'm from Clemson University, and I'm proud to introduce you to the Better Board. Any EMS worker will tell you that space on an ambulance is very limited. This means emergency equipment, like backboards, are often made to be one size fits all, but people aren't. As a result, backboards are usually one size fits none. 16% of the population is over 6 feet tall and 42% of the population is obese. These patients do not fit on a standard backboard and cannot be adequately immobilized for transport to the hospital. This puts these patients at risk for permanent neurological damage, including paralysis. And it's a big part of the reason why every year, of the over 170,000 patients with spinal cord injuries, only 1% can expect to make a full neurological recovery. We want to increase these odds, so we've designed the Better Board. Our product replaces the current board EMS uses with one that can safely accommodate all patients. It extends with panels on the bottom and sides which securely lock in place. This adds up to 12 inches of length for taller patients and up to 6 inches of width for wider patients. This simple design makes it easy for a single EMT to adjust the Better Board to fit any patient in under 10 seconds. Crossbody restraints can also be added to any set of handles and expand with the board. This safely, securely, and comfortably accommodates patients of all sizes. We estimate there's a current demand for over 250,000 backboards in the US. In 2018, the ambulance stretchers market was valued at $634.2 million with a compound annual growth rate of 3.3%. As a Class 1 medical device, the Better Board is exempt from most time-consuming FDA regulations. And with its simple design, it is comparable in production costs to traditional backboards. Because of this and its clear benefits over competitors, we believe the Better Board will be able to quickly capture a large portion of this market. Accidents can happen to anyone, but we believe everyone deserves the best possible care. When it comes to spinal cord injuries, our size-inclusive product is safer and more effective than anything else on the market now. No matter your size, the Better Board has your back.
Okay, judges, it's your turn to tap into these spinal injury innovators. Laurence.
So what a great problem to go tackle here. I'd love to learn more about how you define your product requirements, considering that your board is heavier and appears to be more complex than the alternative.
Yeah, so we have several product requirements that came from some collaboration with some EMS consultants that we worked with. Our first is that it's completely sterilizable, which is essential for use in the field and in the ER. And our second was that it's comparable to their current backboard in that they can use it easy without any extra training. It's not a huge burden for them to use. They were specifically mentioned that they were okay with the extra weight for the extra productivity.
Can your products be used as is in international markets as well?
They can, absolutely. We haven't looked into the regulatory of international markets, but it definitely would be translatable.
Thank you. Better board. We have seen and heard presentations from all of our competitors. The fates of these teams are now in the hands of the judges, who will bid us adieu as they head off to deliberate. But they won't be the only ones making a decision. Our People's Choice voting is still open. You have precious few minutes to make a decision of your own by texting your team's keyword to 415-965-7445. Those keywords must be spelled correctly or they won't count. And note that only one vote per device will be registered no matter what auto response you may get. While all of you are being judgmental, I thought this might be a good time to change things up with a greeting from our most hospitable host, Florida State University.
Good evening. I'm Richard McCullough, President of Florida State University. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2023 ACC InVenture Prize competition. Innovation and entrepreneurship are priorities at universities because the challenges of our times demand creative problem solvers. Across the disciplines and through interdisciplinary collaboration, our students confront complex problems, challenge outmoded beliefs, and design new solutions by applying knowledge, effort, and empathy. The ACC InVenture Prize was created to accelerate innovation in our universities by inspiring our students through friendly competition and networking. FSU is proud to support this effort and to host the best of the best innovators and entrepreneurs of the ACC. Congratulations to this year's contestants. The judges have a difficult decision ahead of them. I wish you all the best of luck in this competition and in facing the grander challenges that await you in the future.
Okay, I've got students on stage and an envelope in my hand, which means the people have spoken. Thanks to all of you in attendance and watching at home for participating in this year's People's Choice Award. The winner of the check for $5,000 is from the home team, Florida State University. Extra breath. Congratulations. This goes to you. Congratulations, guys. All right. Before we announce this year's first and second place teams, let's get a little insight into the decision process of this year's judges.
And I think there's a couple of stakeholders here.
Kind of who's on your team, who's on your advisory board?
Can you speak a little to your price versus cost?
Just the quality of these presentations is just really fantastic.
Definitely have a lot of passion. I think it's very innovative, but I still don't know exactly how it operates.
You tend to forget sometimes that these are actually students and this may be the first time they ever did this.
I really look for, is there a wide economic moat? As we all know, when it comes to technology, it's never a zero-sum game.
What impressed me the most today was actually the caliber of the teams and the ideas presented. I was certainly blown away here.
It's nice to see more women, coming up with lots of technical related solutions and stuff as well.
It was really nice to see this broad cross-section of people that are really excited about entrepreneurship and bringing their ideas forward.
This competition, our hands are bound. There are only 2 winners. There is nothing that says every one of them cannot be winners in real life.
Yeah, what an interesting experience. I thought it was very inspiring.
It's really exciting to see the students focused on things that not only drive a bottom line, but also help provide a better world.
Lots of smart kids out there.
Okay, thank you, judges, for sharing those insights on what impacted your decisions. Now let's get to the results. Okay, second place in the 2023 ACC InVenture Prize, along with $10,000 in funding, is... Wait a minute, there are 2 cards in here again. For the second year in a row, we have 2 second place winners. One is Duke University with Savor. Come on down. And Syracuse University with Intervia. Congratulations. Here, can you all put hands on this? Look at how they share. All right, congratulations. Now, heading home with first place and a check for $15,000. The winner of the 2023 ACC InVenture Prize is from the University of Notre Dame, Lifedrive. Congratulations. All right. Tell us who you want to thank.
Yeah, I want to thank
Patty Reinhardt in the audience right there from the Idea Center, John Henry from the Idea Center, Dr. Carrie Myers, who's one of my advisors at school, and then obviously my parents, our awesome Lifedrive team, and all the people, even though we didn't get the People's Choice vote, everybody that voted.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for watching the ACC InVenture Prize, celebrating the best in collegiate innovation. Props to all the students who submitted in previous rounds, and especially to our 12 semifinalists and the educators behind them. Let's give it up to the amazing people at Florida State University, especially Ken Baldoff and Britton Dwyer Riley for hosting another awesome show. We will be back next year. Until then, never forget, every accomplishment begins with an ACC. Good night.
Funding for this program was made possible in part by the Atlantic Coast Conference Academic Consortium and the 15 ACC member schools.